class, I'm going to transit to my slide. Okay. Okay, and I will have to mute everybody, even while the audio is playing and while the class is on, so that it will allow for easy understanding. So, okay. So the class is about to start in proper because my slide is here now. Actually, I'm going to run a repeat of what I did in the last lecture because of those who are just joining, because I don't normally do this, but I think I have a lot of new faces today. So, especially for the listening is not something very tough, but I'm going to start. So, the listening, I normally teach the listening under three topics, and they are the general rules, question types, and handling maps, diagrams, and charts. Okay, so this evening I'm going to start off with the general rule. I'm going to give you the general rule that guides your listening, and I must tell you that this general rule is what I normally give people who are who have a very short time to practice, and it helps. So if you are one of those people who struggle with listening, well, if you are not one of those people, unfortunately, today is listening. The last two lectures has been on listening, so I would just want you to bear with those who struggle with listening, or those who have not done before. If you are aiming to score at least a 9 or 8.5 thereabout. Okay, so the number one thing about the general rule is, I've changed my slide now, is that you need to read and understand the instruction. For every exam, this is standard, but this in Ielts listening, you have a short period of, you have no time at all. So in the space of 30 seconds that you are given in every section, these 5 rules must be observed. So you need to understand the instruction. If they tell you write no more than 2 words or a number, one thing you need to do in particular is that you do not write more than 2 words. If it's going to be a third word, then it must be a number. When the instruction says 2 words and or a number. So let me annotate so that you'll be able to see the instruction. Okay, you can see here, write no more than 2 words or a number, because immediately your word count is more than 2 and the third one is not a number, your answer will be marked wrong. Yes, so that is it for this one. Your answer will be marked wrong. Okay, so that's why when you get to every section, you need to pay attention to the instruction. Okay, then I will rush to number 2 now. The second one, you need to read and understand the topic. A lot of people, because they are under exam condition, they do not read the topic, and when the audio starts, you are just stranded. So you need to read the topic. Okay, so if the discussion is going to be about hotel accommodation booking, your mind is already on hotel accommodation booking, and so you will narrow the specific of your engagement to that and what you are listening out for. Okay, so I am rushing this part. So now I want to come to the third part. For example, let me omit or jump this. If this is below is like a subheading, which is a follow-up to a question, you can see personal details for homestay. Let me show example here. Okay, this is like a topic, personal details for homestay application. So when I say personal detail for homestay application, so it means somebody wants to apply for an homestay, and you can see the question is about information about the person. Okay, so I will come to the third rule now, and I'm going to be making a serious emphasis on the third rule. Look at it, a serious one. If I'm too fast, I will come back The first one, let me, it's like I'm moving fast for those who want to write. Read and understand the instruction given. Okay, so read and understand the instruction given. Okay, the number 2 is you need to read and understand the topic. Okay, okay, the number 3, you need to read and understand the question layout or format. This is very, very, very critical. Okay, what do I mean by question layout or format? This is a sample question. Okay, I think I need to unmute now so that I can test if we can see my screen properly. Some people struggle. If you are, so that I will confirm if you are not struggling, or maybe it's the orientation from your side. Sorry, can we all see my screen? Hello?
Sure.
Can we all see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let me continue then, so that okay, I was talking about the third rule, which is about understanding the question format or layout. If you look at this part, so now this is a sample question, and you need to understand that, okay, the question layout is this. This is the first name. The first name is missing, and that's number 1. The second one is the passport number. That's number 2. So things like family name, gender, age were given. So the number 3 is the course enrolled for. Number 4 is length of course. Number 5 is home stay time. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice that the 30 seconds gap which you are given before, when the audio introduces the topic, the 30 seconds gap you are given is meant for you to understand the question layout. You read the instruction, you understand the topic, then the question layout. So this is a very simple question layout. So let me show you another question layout so that whenever you see speaking the next time, you'll be able to understand question layouts before you start. Okay, this is a question layout now. This is another question layout. In this part, you see question, sorry, it's like my slide. Did I jump anything? No, I didn't jump. Okay, this is a question. This is a matching task question. So you have question, this thing is saying, write the correct letter A to F next to question 11 to 15. So discussion will be around part of the Earth Club. Okay, so the swimming pool, possibly the swimming pool, maybe it has a new floor that has been installed, or the swimming pool has been repainted. So you will listen out to the audio to pick out how to match the alternating happenings or occurrence to this question. That's what I mean by question layout. Now I'm going to show you another question layout, which is a bit more complex than this. So the thing that you need to do every time is you need to understand the question layouts of every section you get to. The 30-second space you are given must be used to decode the question layout. Why? When the audio starts, you don't need to be guessing. You know what you are listening for. And that's the only way you can score 8, 8.5, 9. Okay, now if you can see this question layout now, I'm increasing this font so that for those who are having challenge with seeing it. Okay, this one is saying complete the timeline. So it's a timeline question. Write no more than 3 words or a number. So in this part, you can write 3 words. If it's a 4 word, then the 4th one must be a number. The number can either be written in numerals or in word. Once it's number, it's number. Okay, look at what happened here. 1832, something happened. What happened is missing. In 18, work 2, what happened is missing. Age 17, wrote dash, what happened is missing. But when you get to question 34, the timeline is missing and what happened is written. So immediately you get to this section, first thing you need to do is race through the question format to understand it before the audio starts speaking. Immediately you get it now, you will understand that when you get to 34, you are looking for a date or a timeline, a reference to a particular time. But if it is this side that is missing, you are waiting for an action. Immediately, age 17 is mentioned, you are waiting for what did she write. Okay, immediately 35 is mentioned, you know that Alcohol published a letter in a book called Hospital Sketches. You are waiting for the timeline to be provided. So when you get to 38, you see that the timeline was provided, but the action or the person, because died, so it means the person is missing here. If you get to 39, the timeline is missing. Question 40, timeline is given, action is missing. So that's the way to figure out your, what do I call it? Your question layout. Okay, so that's it. This question layout is particularly very, very important because it is what can decide whether you miss or you are accurate or you are guessing. Sorry, it is what decides whether you are accurate or you are guessing. And when you are guessing, it means you can be right, you can be wrong. Okay, so now let me go into rule number 4. This is rule number 4. So this rule number 4 is have 2 questions in sight or mind. Okay, this rule number 4 does 3 things to you. Number 1, it keeps you focused because you are on question 7 and your mind is also focusing on question 8. How can you do that? The thing there is that you need to do that. When you observe rule 3, that is before the audio starts, you have raced through your question format. But when the audio now starts, I'm going back to a sample question. Your mind is on 31, that is 1832, what happened? You are listening out for it, and your mind is also, your eye is on 31, but your mind is also able to follow 32. You know 32 is in teens. So you need to have raced through your question. Before the audio starts, you are on question 31, but your mind is also on 32. Why? You need it. Because sometimes when there is a lengthy discussion in an audio, you might wonder whether the audio has skipped or gotten past a question. That's number 1. And number 2, when you get to the 20s or 30s, there is a possibility that the answer to a particular question can be given between the space of 5 seconds. While you are writing answer to question 31, question 32 answer is being supplied. So that's why you need to be very conscious. They do not do it for questions within the space of 3 questions at a go, but they do it for 4 questions. Please give me a second. I need to clean my face. I had to off the fan here because of the sound, particularly because of the sound. So just let me quickly I am back. So you have two questions in mind. The second reason is that, so when those audio is fast and giving you two answers in the space of 5 seconds, you are still able to catch up. Okay, so rule number 3 and 4 are very critical. Rule number 3 and 4 are very, very critical. Others are important, but these are critical. They are the one that decides you scoring a very high mark or not. So that is just it. So just give me a second. Okay, so now the 5th rule is focus. You need to train yourself to focus, because all the rules I've given you, if you cannot concentrate for straight 6-7 minutes, because that's the space of a session. That is the space of a session. If you cannot concentrate for 6-7 minutes, there will be all your efforts will be a problem. So I normally recommend to people, if you're a very religious person, try meditating in the morning, staying in a place without thinking of too much thing, just think of one thing. If you are the kind of person that you are very, very active, please learn how to stay in a place. In my class, I have seen a general pattern. Women are averagely better than men in listening, maybe because of their patience. Well, I'm not saying some men are not patient, but men struggle a lot. But not that I'm saying that some men don't perform well. Some men perform, but on the average, women have been better than men. So one thing is that we need to be able to sit, to be able to stand still and be focused. And also you need to know that on the exam day, some people will distract you. Maybe they miss or they skipped a part. They will make noise and you are distracted. You don't need to focus on anybody. You need to focus on yourself. So now I want to give you, possibly let us do a practice. So I'll be playing the audio to this one now. This is question 1 to 5. So I will start playing the audio. That was the audio I even tested before we started. So I'm going to play it again. So you can pick out your pencil and paper and try if you can apply the rule and if it works for you. But one thing is going to work. The only thing is that if you are still struggling, just try to apply the rule. So the audio will start now. Sorry, before I start the audio, I want to check with us. Sorry.
Section 1.
Sorry, don't worry, I will still replay it. I want to confirm something with us. Okay, can we all see my screen, please? Hello, can we all see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay, so that was what I wanted to confirm, so that I know you are seeing the screen. I have tested the audio before we started, and people have confirmed that the audio was good. So those with hands-free, it will be better if you have a hands-free, because so that external noises will not distract you that much. Okay, so that's it. I will mute back, then we will start. Okay.
Section 1. You will hear a woman and a man talking about their work at a library. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You will see that there's an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Phillips, the head librarian. You're the new library assistant, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Robert Haskell, but please call me Bob.
The woman introduces herself as the head librarian, Mrs. Phillips, so the name Mrs. Phillips has been written in. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Phillips, the head librarian. You're the new library assistant, aren't you?
Yes, I'm Robert Haskell, but please call me Bob.
All right, Bob. Let me take a few minutes to explain how the library works and what your duties will be. First, the library opens at 8:30 in the morning, so naturally we expect you to be here and ready to work by then.
Of course.
And you can go home at 4:30 when the library closes. Now, let me explain where everything's kept.
It looks like here on the ground floor is where the reference books are.
Yes, that's right. Up on the second floor is where the adult collection is, both fiction and non-fiction.
And the children's books are there too, aren't they? I thought I saw them in the room by the stairway.
No, those are magazines and newspapers for adults. Children's books are up one more flight on the third floor. We'll take a look at them later. Let me show you how we organize our work. Do you see that brown book cart over there?
The one by the door?
Yes, that one. Those books have been checked in and need to go back on the shelves.
Okay, so the brown book cart has books to reshelve. What about this black cart by the desk?
Those books have torn pages or damaged covers. They're all books that need to be repaired.
Okay, I know how to do a lot of that. I'm pretty good at mending torn pages and covers.
That's great, because we really need help with that.
And that white cart in the corner, what are those books for?
Those are old books that we've taken off the shelves to make room for new ones. We sell them as used books to raise money for the library.
So they're all ready to sell?
Yes, that's right. So now you know what to do with the books in the carts. Let's talk about our activity schedule.
Okay, so that's the end of the first part of section 1, which is question 1 to 5. Okay, so that part was not hard. I hope we're able to get it. Hello?
Hi.
Okay, somebody is talking. What do you have anything you want to say? Okay, I want to review the answer to 1. Number 1 is 8:30. Number 2 is reference books. Number 3 is children's books. Number 4 is be repaired or repair. Number 5 is be sold or sell. Okay. So how was it? Okay, Appian, was your audio good this time around?
Yes, I could hear.
Okay, so I thank God for that, because I had to go over what I did the last lecture so that I could see that people have a good understanding of what I am trying to pass across. Okay, so now, so was this practice okay? Because I want us to do another practice there about test those 5 rules I've given to us. I want to know, did you struggle? If you struggled in the first part, I want you to let me know why you struggled.
Well, for me, I didn't struggle first. I didn't struggle, but I missed
Okay. What was the reason for
questions.
missing them? Because basically, I want to. Okay, if you miss them, I want to go over the audio again. Which parts did you?
I heard them clearly, but I lost track of the instruction.
Okay. It says write no more than 2 words or a number. Maybe the problem here is that you did not go through the question format before the audio started. You have to go through the question before the audio starts. You have to look through the 5 questions. Yes, because if you don't look at it, you won't know what to expect. Like this place now, the hour, you know that the hours of work dash to 4:30. Question 2 is ground floor. Which books are on the ground floor? Because you understand that second floor has adult collection. So you are expecting the audio to mention ground floor and the books placed on the ground floor. The same thing with third floor. If you get to book cards, if you remember, the brown cards, so it contains book to the shelf. So you are looking for what is on the black cards. In question 4, books to be repaired or to repair. Then, because they talk about the fact that they were torn, they need to be repaired. And the guy even said that he's good at those kind of things. So you need to learn how to. Then the white cards. What are on the white cards? Books to what? To be sold. So yes, the thing there is that you need to understand within this space of 30 seconds that you are given. Let me mute before we go into the next session, because it's like some people's background is really affected. Okay, so the thing there is that the space of 30 seconds you have every time, you need to use it to decode, to go through the question. The audio will tell you in this section, you'll be answering question 1 to 5. So in that 30 seconds, you are going to focus on question 1 to 5. Read and understand the instruction, understand the topic, understand the question layout, that is the question, the way they are arranged and what to expect. The thing there is that you need to know that this is time, because this is our books. This one has given you an indication that second floor has adult collection. So ground floor also has some sort of things in them. Then the third floor has, and if you follow the instruction, the person is saying, I want to tell you how the arrangement of books are here. Then the book cards, which kind of books are in the different cards. So now I will go into the next one. I will explain before the audio starts. Okay, this is the next section. Though you also have 30 seconds to decode this question, but now look at it. It said write no more than 1 word or a number. In this place, you can't write more than 1 word. It didn't say and or a number. It's either a word or a number. Look at this topic. These are activities. So there is story time. There is lecture series. 7 is missing. There is location. There is children's room. There is reference room. Number 9 for this room is missing. And daytime. This is day and time. Day is missing here. Time is given. Day is given. Time is missing. Day is given. Time is missing. Now, if you note, most of the audios in listening are in sequence of the question. So possibly the person is going to talk through this, get to 6, talk like this, get to 7, get to 8, then talk like this, get to 9, then to 10. So you need to note the pattern of flow of the question too. 6, 7. Sorry, I'm moving the slide. Okay, so that's what you need to note before every audio starts. Okay, so I am going to play the audio now, do you think that you can give this one a go now? Because these are the early part of listening. If you are still struggling, you need to practice more. But in the early part of listening, you can't afford to start missing a lot. In fact, until you get to 20s, I normally recommend the time you are in 20, the maximum you can miss is 1. The maximum is 1 because the pace of the audio is slow at that time. Just concentrate. So I will play the audio now. So I will mute, then we will start. You still have some 30 seconds. So what I've done is I've clearly explained the audio, the recording to you. Okay, so I will play the audio, then you answer questions 6 to 10.
Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
I understand this library has a number of interesting activities every week.
Yes, our activities are quite popular. The most popular one is story time for the children.
Do a lot of children show up for that?
Yes, a good many. It takes place in the children's room on Thursday mornings at 11.
Isn't there a family movie night too?
Yes, but it's not at night anymore. We used to have family movies on Fridays when the library is open until 9. But now we have a different activity at that time, so we had to switch family movies to the weekend, Saturday afternoon.
How much do you charge for the movies?
They're all free. The movie always starts at 2:30 in the reference room, but you don't have to worry about that since you don't work on weekends.
And what takes place on Friday evenings?
We've just started a weekly lecture series. We have a different speaker every week, and the lectures cover all different kinds of topics.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in attending.
Good, because we'll need your help with that. You'll be working Friday evenings, and one of your duties will be to set up the meeting room on the first floor for the lecture.
What time will you need that done?
Let's say by 6:15. The lecture starts at 6:30, and the room needs to be ready well ahead of time. A lot of people arrive early.
Maybe I should have the room ready by 6?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, why don't I take you upstairs and show you the rest of the collection?
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay. Okay, I know that between 7 and 8, there was a lot of mix-up because there was an activity which was removed and replaced, and then it transited to the timing, which was the weekend, then gave the time. Yes, there could be a mix-up there, but you need to, when you, let me see if we have all gotten the answer. Let me go to the answer and then reveal the answer to us. Okay. So, Thursday, 6 is Thursday, 7 is movies, because that activity was another activity which was happening before. It was replaced with movie. And then the time is 2:30. And what happens on Friday is meeting, and the time, official time, is 6:30. Yes, the guide was told that he could get it ready by 6:15. He was saying it could be around 6 o'clock, but the official time for the program was 6:30. So you need to look at the pattern. I don't know if you've gotten it. You need to look at the pattern from the one that was given here, because it's an official time that was given, if you follow the instruction properly. Okay. So let me unmute to see the response. Okay, so how was the... Hello? Okay, Afia, how was this one?
Terrible.
Why was it terrible?
Honestly, I actually figured out the answer pattern at the end.
Yes. Okay.
I was still trying to make out where the answers are supposed to go, let alone, I was still trying to make out where the answers to what questions were, let alone know how to place it.
Okay.
But at the last
Okay, the thing there is that The thing that I want. Okay. Is there any other person that has a? Let me stop sharing my slide so that I can see everybody's face, so that I can see those who are trying to talk or raise their hand or something like that. Okay. If you have any other comment as well, I want you to indicate. Okay, Victoria, you want to talk, or maybe it's your background that wants to talk. If you equally have the same challenge, I want to know, because I want to replay the audio now so that you can figure it out if you have a challenge. And if possible, I will talk at some interval. I will talk to make you know what was going on. Okay, so since I am having no comment, I will replay the audio once again. I want us to do some complex questions. Maybe it's in the next lesson that will be doing some complex ones. But if you get the simple ones, then you will get the complex ones. Okay, so I will play the audio again. Okay, so let me share now. Okay, this is the this thing. I will be talking and pausing the audio when the answer is being given. Okay, I'll be pausing the audio so that you can note. Okay.
Organize our work. Do you see that brown book cart over there?
The one
Sorry,
at the door?
it has not started this section.
Those books have been checked in and need to go back on the shelf. Those books have torn pages or damaged covers. They're all books that need to be repaired.
Okay, I know how to do a lot of that. I'm pretty good at mending torn pages and covers.
That's great, because we really need help with that.
And that white card in the corner, what are those books for?
Those are old books that we've taken off the shelves to make room for new ones. We sell them as used books to raise money for the library.
So they're all ready to sell?
Yes, that's right. So now you know what to do with the books in the carts. Let's talk about our activity schedule.
Okay, so it's going to talk about the activity schedule now. So you have 30 seconds. This is the activities. These are the location. This is
Now
the date
listen
and time.
answer questions 6 to 10.
Okay.
I understand this library has a number of interesting activities every week.
Yes, our activities are quite popular. The most popular one is story time for the
Can you
children.
see story
Do a lot
time?
of children show up for that?
Yes, a good many. It takes place in the children's room on Thursday mornings at 11.
Isn't
Okay.
there a family
Thursday
movie night
morning
too?
Yes,
at
but
11.
it's not at night anymore. We used to
Sorry.
have family movies on Fridays when the library is open until 9.
Sorry, I'm trying
But
to
now
annotate.
we
I
have
will
a
stop
different
it.
activity at that time.
Just hold on.
So we had to switch family movies to the weekend, Saturday afternoon.
How much do you charge for the movies?
They're all free. The movie always starts at 2:30.
Okay, I want to go back a bit so that I explain it. My cursor was not stopping it on time. So I will go back a bit so as to explain that place. Okay.
A different activity at that time. So we had to switch. It takes place in the children's room on Thursday mornings at 11.
Isn't there a...
Okay, it takes place in the children room on Thursday morning at 11. You are asked to pick a word, so you have to pick the day because it is talking about day here. So it is Thursday at 11. You cannot put morning because it asks you to pick a word. Okay, so now I will let it continue to explain this part. Okay.
a family movie night too?
Yes, but it's not at night anymore. We used to have family movies on Fridays when the library is open.
So it's talking about family movie, but now he said we used to have it. So he's talking about this place. Okay, so note what was substituted. Okay.
Until 9. But now we have a different activity at that time. So we had to switch family movies to the weekend, Saturday afternoon.
How much do you charge for the movies?
They're all free. The movie always starts at 2:30.
Okay, So it has been confirmed that he's talking about movies here. And he's telling you that movie always start at 2:30. The thing there is that he might talk about these ones even after he has given the answer, or talk about them before giving the answer. So that might be the confusing part. Okay.
In the reference room. But you don't have to worry about that since you don't work on
I'll put it back again.
It's not at night anymore. We used to have family movies on Fridays when the library is open until 9. But now we have a different activity at that time. So we had to switch family movies to the weekend, Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
How much do you charge for the
So
movies?
it's movie.
They're all free. The movie always starts at 2:30 in the reference room.
Okay.
But you don't have to worry about that since you don't work on weekends.
And what takes place on Friday evenings?
Okay.
We've just started
Friday.
a weekly lecture series.
Lecture
We have a
series.
different speaker every week, and the lectures cover all different kinds of topics.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in attending.
Good, because we'll need your help with that. You'll be working Friday evenings, and one of your duties will be to set up the meeting room on the first floor for the lecture.
Meeting room.
What time will you need that done?
Let's say by 6:15.
Mm-hmm.
The lecture starts at 6:30.
6:30.
And the room needs to be ready well ahead of time. A lot of people arrive early.
Maybe I should have the room ready by 6?
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay, why don't I take you upstairs and show you the rest of the collection?
Okay, I knew there was a confusion here because he was saying that the movies normally happens on Friday before, but now the movies have been moved to the weekend, which is a Saturday. And he's saying, yes, family movie, but you can only pick one word. So you have to pick movies alone. So then it mentioned the time, 2:30. So the thing there is that when it's talking about this place, talking about the activity where it's going to take place, the day and time, it doesn't normally follow the sequence. Yes, he might mention this before this, but do you know that one, he may mention this space before this, but he will always answer 7 before 8. Sometimes he will mention 7, go back to 8, then mention 7 again. Okay, so that is the fact about it. You need to be patient. When you have made a decision about question 6, come immediately to question 7. You need to come immediately to question 7 and wait. When you start talking about anything, one of the things that you also need to note is that you need to note the given entities, because they are going to talk about around the given entities. That's what will now make you know that they have started talking about this place. Because sometimes between 6 and 7, you can see that they will give some irrelevant informations that are not here. That's where the confusions come. That's why you need to note the question format. What you are looking for is when they mention a day here. What you are looking for is an activity. It kept saying they change it from one time to the other, but stick to what you know. What you are looking for here is a time. What you are looking for here is a location. What you are looking for here is a time. So when you get to a particular place, you know what you are looking for. That's why I said when you are on question 6, your eyes must be on 7. When you are on question 7, your eyes must be on 8, because this person was talking about 7 and 8 almost at the same time. So those are the areas we need to pay attention to. Okay, let me, the time is fast spent, but let me go to one more activity, if we can do that, and call it a day. This one is not hard. Well, let me say so that it is not hard, but let's practice it. Okay, in this activity, it says choose letters A to I, which 5 activities are available at Golden Lake Resort. Okay, so you need to choose which of the activities are available. So now we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 of them are not available. Okay, please, you need to also note the present and the past, or what is going to be available in the future. Past, If it already was in existence, no longer exists, it means it's not available. If there is a possibility of it being in existence in the future, it is still not available. Please, these are the kind of things that will be tested in this question. So I will play the audio now. Okay, section 2. So let me play it now.
Section 2. You will hear a radio interview about a lakeside resort. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. As you listen to the first part of the talk, answer questions 11 to 15.
Good afternoon, and welcome to today's show. The warm months are with us, and many of you are getting ready to plan vacation trips. To help you with that, we have a special guest today, Robert Sampson, director of the Golden Lake Resort. Robert, I understand Golden Lake is a popular place for families to spend their vacations.
Yes, families enjoy spending time at Golden Lake. Many come back year after year. We have a spectacular location and fun activities for both children and adults.
Could you describe for us some of the activities available at Golden Lake?
We have a lot of water activities, of course, since we're right on the lake. We have a pleasant sandy beach for swimming. We also have canoes and sailboats available, and many of our guests enjoy boating on the lake.
I imagine water skiing would be popular among your guests.
Actually, we don't permit water skiing in the resort area. It can be dangerous for swimmers and for the canoeists too. We do have a great location for fishing though, and you'll often see guests fishing from our dock or from the canoes.
That sounds very relaxing. What about activities on land? Do you have facilities for tennis?
We had tennis in the past, but the courts fell out of repair. And since we found that most of our guests weren't interested in the game, we closed the courts down. So that's no longer an option. And naturally, because of our location in the woods, we don't have an adequate area for a golf course. But I'd like to let your listeners know that we'll be adding a new activity this year. We've made an arrangement with the local stable, so now we're going to have horseback riding available for our guests. We've created several riding trails around the lake.
That sounds lovely. Now, what about rainy days? What can your guests do when the weather's bad?
We have a games room and a crafts room. When the weather's rainy, some of our very talented staff members offer arts and crafts classes for all ages.
What fun! Do you offer any other classes or activities?
Okay. So that part, sorry. So that part is concluded. So let me now review the answer so that, okay. So 11 to 15, it is A, B, D, G, high. Okay, A, B, D, G, I. You can see that the person was actually eliminating the one that was not available and talking about the one that was available. Okay. Okay, I know this part is really, really contestable because I want you to contest it because there was an error in this part. So that's why I'm going to open the floor now. I'm going to propose, I want those who want to contest it to really talk before we close. Okay. Okay, anybody contesting? Hello?
Question again.
Okay, is it Victoria Olubisola that is talking?
No, it's Afion.
Okay, what did you say?
I was wondering if I could see the slide with the question again, because I actually wrote out my answers. I didn't match it with the alphabet.
No, this particular section does not need to be written in the direct sequence. 11 to 15 could be written in any sequence. Okay, 11, this is A, B, C, this is A, D, B, D, G, I. So it could be written in any sequence. Let me go.
That's why I want to see the activities.
Okay, this is it. Okay, so these are the activities.
Hello.
Okay, somebody is trying to talk. Who is it, please? Okay. Okay, so okay, what was the challenge there?
Okay, first I wrote out, instead of matching the question I rather wrote out the activities.
No.
So
That means you did not read the instruction. And that was one of the things I said. He said, write letter A to I. Which 5 activities are available? So you don't need to write them, you need to write A. You are going to pretty waste your time. So the thing there is that you need to practice or to get used to the instruction. You are having issues with you didn't read the instruction of this one, or maybe you didn't understand it on time. You are meant to write A, B, C, D. Because if you write the activities like that, you will be marked wrong. You will be marked wrong. And it's one of the reasons people fail. And they said, well, I think I did well, but there was a problem. Okay, so was that the only challenge you had?
Well, I noticed that then the activities, I think I noted an activity that I didn't hear.
Which activity did you note that you didn't hear? Let me show the slide again.
In the rest,
let me show the slide again.
I would appreciate.
Okay. Which activity did you note?
I noted swimming. I noted swimming, which
Swimming
is
was
A.
mentioned.
I noted boating.
Boating was mentioned.
I noted fishing.
No, they said they no longer do it because he was saying what was available.
Yeah, but I noted hiking. I'm not sure I heard that.
Okay.
And arts and crafts.
That was the place I wanted you guys to contest because there was something really strange about this G, H, and I. The others were pretty straightforward. That was the place I wanted you to contest. Okay, so I will play the audio back to now note what happened. Yes, so I will soon be over the class. I need to go over this. Okay.
Stable. So now we're going to have horseback riding available for our guests. We've created several riding trails around the lake.
That sounds lovely. Now, what about rainy days? What can your guests do when the weather's bad?
We have a games room and a crafts room. When the weather's rainy, some of our very talented staff members offer arts and crafts classes for all ages.
What fun! Do you offer any other classes or activities?
Okay. I didn't pick the one that I wanted you guys
I'd
to
like
pick.
to let your listeners know that we'll be adding a new activity this year. We've made an arrangement with the local stable, so now we're going to have horseback riding available for our guests. We've created several riding trails around the lake.
That sounds lovely. Now, what about rainy days? What can your guests do when the weather's bad?
We have a games room and a crafts room. When the weather's rainy, some of our very talented staff members offer arts and crafts classes for all ages.
What fun! Do you offer any other classes or activities?
Okay. So here, activity H was never referred to at all. So it was G and I. So it is A, B, D, G, I. So that was the place I felt some people could contest that what now happened to activity H. Activity H was not, the hiking was not mentioned at all. They just went into the act and the craft. So that is it for tonight. Let me hear your comment before we close.
Listen and answer questions 16 to
Sorry,
20.
let me stop the audio because our time is gone for tonight. Okay, so the thing there is that just as I have noted, please, you need to read the instruction properly. The instruction guides you. A lot of people think or they rush to the question, they just rush to those activity. The instruction will guide the activity and also the topic. When you go to the topic, then you understand the question format. After the question format, Kunle, I can see that you want to talk. Yes, no problem, I'm coming back. The question format, then I have two questions in sight so that if they discuss around the question, keep coming back and forth between the two questions or the missing part, you are able to fix it. And also, you need to focus seriously. So if you are still having challenge, it means you need to practice. The one you've practiced before that you feel, you need to go over it. So when you get it, then you do another one. It is not how many practices you do that matters. When you fail one, go over it and see your error, and then you learn from it and you do other practices. Okay, so that is it. Let me open the floor for the last set of comments, and let us close for tonight. Okay, Mr. Akunle, you wanted to talk.
When you play video,
Hello. Some people's background are really affecting it. I couldn't pinpoint those in particular.
Okay, so you repeated the video.
What did you say?
When you repeated the video, the audio,
Yes.
The question said activities available.
Yes.
But the audio said they will be having us. Not like
yes, that's the problem. That was the contestable area because naturally that place should have been deleted, but unfortunately, activity hiking was not mentioned at all.
It wasn't, but
yes.
But the was going to be.
So basically, that's the only activity you could slot in, because if there was another activity which was present, you have to eliminate that. Okay, the sound is bad from some people's end. If you want to talk, please indicate and so that we can round off of time. Okay.
Talking further on what Kunle said, that was why I picked H, even though it wasn't mentioned, because I felt for it to have been among the list of items and it wasn't mentioned,
When an
would have been
activity
it.
is not mentioned, actually, you can't include it. You said they were going to provide that one within the year. If there was one that they provided piece of plan, you have to eliminate that one. So that was the nearest one. Because at the time, at the count, you add. That's why sometimes you need to jot down. When the audio finishes, then you conclude. Because you have 10 minutes to transfer your answer. That kind of question, the one that was not mentioned at all cannot replace the one that was there was possibility of existence within the year.
Okay.
Yes.
That was a trick question.
That's the tricky part of it. That was the part I wanted people to contest. Okay.
But when you played it again, I noted it.
Yes. Okay, so Victoria, do you want to make a comment? Okay. We can't hear you. Please, if your next lecture you are going to be joining, I will prefer you use hands-free because a lot of people's background are so noisy and distracting. Okay, the person using Ielts S11, I didn't see your name, so I had to just refer to you because the icon beeped as if you wanted to talk. So in the absence of any comments and things like that, I will say a very good night for today. The last lecture, I couldn't save the audio, but this one I'll be sending it to as many people that if you want it, and I'll also be uploading it so that you can get to the link and to watch it. The 5 general rules, please keep applying them until you know them and perfect their usage.
Is this recorded?
Yeah, it's recorded.
All right.
You'll get the link. Okay, so good night, everyone. Have a nice night.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.